We will be good to go. Say something one more time.
Yo, testing one, two, three.
Alrighty, we are
Yeah.
good for go. So first off, could you tell us about who you are? You know what you do and why people should listen to you. I mean, all around. What do you bring to the table that others don't?
Ah man. Yeah, I'm Tinashe. A lot of people listen to my crypto content and crypto advice. It's not financial advice. It's just stuff that I've done research in crypto. I've been involved in the blockchain space for like 5 years plus.
Okay.
So I've kind of seen it evolve. Um, And yeah, blockchain technology is the next step in technological evolution. And I think people should understand what blockchain
I
technology is,
agree.
how it's going to change our lives. And at the same time, right now is a great way to be making money from investing in blockchain
Yeah.
companies, tokens, the right ones, that is.
Yeah, yeah. So, could you tell us a little bit about what the blockchain is and what cryptocurrencies are? Because I think a lot of people are kind of ignorant in the aspect of what it is and kind of fear it because of the unknown.
Yeah, when it comes to explaining what the blockchain is, I could go on for days, because I'm so invested in the potential of the technology and what it can do
Mm-hmm.
and how it's about to change industries, a lot of industries. are going to be affected in a positive way, with blockchain
Yeah.
technology, not just industries, but our day-to-day life. Looking at it in a nutshell, I think I'll have to explain from the beginning where all this came about.
Okay.
You know, in the financial crisis, I believe 2008 financial
Mm-hmm.
crisis, somebody called Satoshi Nakamoto, we don't know who he is or she, or if it's an artificial intelligence,
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
it created something called Bitcoin
Okay.
as a response to the financial crisis,
Okay.
you know, because the financial industry is centralized.
Mm-hmm.
It comes from the central banks, from there it
Yeah.
just branches out, and that affects our day-to-day life. But Satoshi Nakamoto created Bitcoin on something called the blockchain technology.
Okay.
Basically, with blockchain, it's a bunch of computers that are connected together in a network, and each computer gets a copy of every transaction that happens on the network.
Okay.
So if I was to send you one Bitcoin right now, one of the computers would process that transaction, and the other computers would get a copy of that
Okay.
transaction. So let's say one computer is to go down. When it comes back online, it's going to get all that information
Mm-hmm.
of any transactions that happened when it was down, and there's nobody that controls, there's no central, you know, controller.
Yeah.
That's why we call it, decentralized.
Okay. Okay. I got
So
you.
blockchain is very decentralized as opposed to what the current financial system is, which is centralized,
Got you.
you
Yeah.
know. So
Um.
remember, uh-huh. I
So.
was gonna say, remember the financial crisis?
Mm-hmm.
It was just a domino of things
Oh yeah.
collapsing. The mortgage, crisis happened, and then everything just it was
Yeah.
a domino effect because of one central
And so
figure
he
that went
created
down.
this Bitcoin, or she created this Bitcoin that was decentralized. And now does that is there a market cap? Like, is there a specific amount that they can have of these Bitcoins? Or are they, is it just digital currency? Is it literally nothing? Like, these are worries that people might have, is that you're just kind of giving money out into the digital era and not knowing where it's going. So is there any
See,
kind of,
with
go ahead.
with with Bitcoin, for example, there'll only ever be 21 million in
Okay.
circulation. Compare that to the trillions of dollars that are printed every day.
Yeah.
You know, so imagine that Bitcoin wants to be used as a form of storing value,
Mm-hmm.
or payments. So imagine if there's only 21 million that will ever exist in circulation. Right now we're at 19 million, and the way that Bitcoin gets released into the, blockchain
Yeah.
is that the people that transactions, the computers that process the transactions, the computer that processes a transaction is rewarded by Bitcoin.
Oh,
So
okay.
the computer that is processed, we call them miners
Mm-hmm.
because they're processing the transactions. So that's how new Bitcoin comes into circulation. And people set up these, computers that mine Bitcoin. So whoever gets that reward can hold it or sell it and add it into the
Gotcha.
current circulation.
Gotcha.
You
Okay.
know,
Well, and
so
so
since it's so,
does that make it? Well,
mhm,
there's a lot of talk about how volatile it can be and how
yeah.
dangerous it can be. So does that? It is solely dictated on how much the people are willing to value it as. Correct.
It's supply and demand.
Okay.
It's kind of almost like, it's rare. There's,
Yeah.
like I said, there'll only be 21 million, and as more and more people get into it, the price is gonna increase.
So what is
Obviously we see.
what was the
Uh-huh.
growth of Bitcoin? Could, like, from where it started, and the kind of inflation of where it went to, and then where it's at now, and even you projected of where it might go.
It's people realizing, that our old ways monetary system is
Mm-hmm.
antiquated. It's time that we move into the digital age, you know.
Yeah.
Imagine like I can send a payment to you over, the blockchain technology. And the cool thing about it, like I was saying, is that it's recorded across a bunch of computers.
Yeah.
So let's say, I come and, do a job for you. I mow your lawn or something, and, I charge you, $50,
Hmm.
and then you send me $50. We can verify that transaction,
Yeah.
because it's stored on the blockchain. I have my address where you can, let's say on a wallet like Coinbase, for
Yeah.
example, you can send me Bitcoin from your Coinbase wallet to my Coinbase wallet, and we can verify that you paid me. I
Okay.
cannot be like, oh, he never paid
Yeah.
me, because everything is recorded on the ledger, the blockchain ledger, which we can access, and it's public to
Yeah.
anybody.
So
That's the
just
cool thing about the
just
Mhm.
because it is decentralized doesn't mean that there's not necessarily a record of it. So there is kind of you
There's
if you need
always
to
a
receive. Yeah.
record.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
So
So, uh,
oh, you go ahead.
go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying
Yeah.
as far
So
as the.
from
Sorry about that. Go ahead. Go ahead.
so from the first ever transaction that happened,
Hmm.
in 2009 or whatever, up until now, we can search those transactions.
Gotcha.
You know, like I can go so in depth in how blockchain is really, really important,
Yeah.
but this would become like a five-part series.
Yeah. I
It's
understand.
not, yeah, it's not something that you can just explain
Yeah.
in one sitting, because it's got so many uses, so many powerful, not just Bitcoin, but the other types of uh, technologies that are evolving from the blockchain
Yeah.
technology.
So could you explain a little bit about those types of either technologies or other coins, other types of cryptos that are out there that not just Bitcoin and potentially ones that people should keep an eye on, that or any type of information that you can give to people that are wanting to get into crypto that might be confused and overwhelmed with the entire process because it is a lot of numbers and I will admit that my first transaction I actually ended up sending someone else my I think it was Digibyte that I sent, and it was because I was just impatient and I just and didn't check things, and it can be daunting. People that don't necessarily understand it, it can be kind of daunting to get into. um, but I do think it is the future. I do think that digital currency is coming, and a more decentralized is better in my opinion. But that's just my opinion. So, is there anything that you can say to possibly make that a transition easier to understand?
I- In order to transition into it, you should basically understand like the of blockchain technology. Thing that runs blockchain technology is smart contracts.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of these cryptocurrencies are based on smart contracts. A contract is basically a contract in code that is written that, okay, this cryptocurrency will be used for this, and that.
Yeah.
Let me give you an example of a use case. There could be a company, real estate, they could make a contract on Ethereum, for
Mm-hmm.
example, or create their own private blockchain, that company, where they have the title deeds stored on their blockchain. And then they could be like, okay, Ethan is going to send $100 a month for 30 years
Yeah.
to this address. And once he's finished doing those payments, this house title deed will be released to
Gotcha. Okay.
Ethan. That's a use case for it. Another use case that companies are using blockchain for is to fight counterfeiting. It's fighting counterfeiting, like
Yeah.
fake goods.
Mm-hmm.
So you could put a QR code, a manufacturing company can put a QR code on, let's say, Gucci. They can put it on their garments. They've released a new line. So it could be like each garment is numbered, and you can scan that QR code, and it'll search on the blockchain for
Gotcha.
the said company, and it will tell you this is authentic, you
Yeah.
know, and you can add whatever other information onto that blockchain. So if someone is sold a fake good, you know, it could be seen on the blockchain.
Okay.
You know, it'll not show up.
Yeah. So there's definitely more
So there's so
uses.
many use cases. You know, it could be used for car history. It could be used for you know, shipping, you know, shipping goods and
Yeah.
services. It could eliminate insurance is another industry that blockchain technology can be used for. It's banking, for example, like blockchain technology can really be used to revolutionize
Yeah.
a lot of stuff. And yeah, it's scary when you don't understand the basic terminology. You know, it's always best to study, and that's what I try and do in my group. I try and teach people the basics of it and how it works. You
Gotcha.
know, and then getting in, you know, and actually show people like, hey, you know, this is how you set up your account for trading, for example, and
Yeah.
how you do your trades and how you do your research, what certain companies do, you know, because like I said, you know, there's just so much to talk about
Oh
that
yeah.
is left to be broken up into parts. It's like, okay, today we're going to talk about this, you know, about
Yeah.
this part of, you know, blockchain and cryptocurrency. A lot of people just think it's Bitcoin, but there's more than just Bitcoin in
Yeah. And well, and
um
that's where people
in
have
this
started
sphere.
to.
There's a lot more than just that.
That's where people have started to like to try to do those investments, right? And people can still invest in Bitcoin, but the prices have gone up so much
Hello?
higher. Can you hear me? Are you there? Can you can you hear me?
Yeah,
You got me?
definitely. There's a lot more use
Okay.
cases to blockchain technology. That's what people should be looking more at, the different blockchain companies that are coming out, as opposed to, oh, Bitcoin, just Bitcoin. No, you
Mm-hmm.
know, Bitcoin runs on blockchain technology. So the value really is understanding the different blockchain technologies, what they're trying to do, and how it's going to change the future. That's
Gotcha.
where the real value comes from.
So could you explain a little bit about what those currencies are, what those other blockchains, uh, not necessarily things to invest in, but potential things like their difference between Ethereum and
Yeah. Are you getting a lag? Is every, you know,
can you not hear?
you're getting in real time?
Can you not hear me? Are we not? We're having some technical issues here apparently. Uh, Give me 1 second. Let me try this. Can you hear me now? You there? Can you hear me, Tanasha? Getting some getting some lag between us right now. Let's see if we can you not hear me at all?
Hello?
Can you hear me? Are we good? Can you hear me? Are we good?
Are you leaving me? We're all leaving.
Can you hear me? Are we good? Can can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Think we're back. Did you want to try the video, or you want to stay on just audio? Okay, yeah, let's try to switch over there, see if we can get back on the video, and we will cut back to that. All right, we are back. We're good. Sorry about that. So we're good. We're on. You can hear me now.
No, that's fine.
Awesome.
Yeah, I can hear you.
So, could you tell us a little bit about the different cryptos out there, the different currencies out there, and what exactly those do, like how they're different to say Bitcoin, and how these companies are using these coins to actually utilize the blockchain and what they're for, basically, or is that too much to even really get into? We have lost audio.
Now it's
There
Ethereum,
we go.
which is pretty much like a decentralized operating system.
Mm-hmm.
So people can create their own apps. So I think that is why the app,
Mm.
uh, sorry, there's a blockchain company called Ethereum, which is basically creating their own decentralized operating system. And people can create apps that run on Ethereum. So, and there are a bunch of other, companies like that, like Qtum, um, Neo is another one, you know, and then a lot of it, is operating systems that people are working on. And then there's some like that are creating decentralized finance. That's a big one
Okay.
that's coming up now. Because like let's say when you go out and get a loan at a bank, you need to provide, they look at your credit score and all that information before they can give you a loan. but with decentralized finance,
Well,
right now
uh, we're have we're back to the where I'm barely getting you on this.
on the block, certain companies
Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Awkward. I hate technology. Yeah, we're having some. I don't know whose side it's on. I don't know if it's mine. We have good business internet. It shouldn't be us, but I'm not sure what he's sending video from. And it seemed like my video was too much for the connection, basically. I'm trying to see if we're gonna reschedule or if we're gonna try to get it going again. I apologize, guys. Technical difficulties are fun. Please enjoy the soothing tones of whatever you're listening to at this moment. Y'all think that having the little baby by men is too much? Is that too much? Should I take them off when I'm doing the interviews? Should I take these guys off? Should I make them disappear when I'm actually interviewing? Oh, y'all think they should stay? Maybe I should take them. You know your brand better than me, though. I mean, yeah, you're right. You're right. But actually, you know, but I also don't want to detract from other people's brands as well. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be like, ooh, this is always me. But like on the waiting screen, I feel like it's good to have them. But then when I'm in it, I feel like taking it out would probably be better. Because like that's what it's, you know, take these out and then just have the bot up there. I think that would be good. But it looks like we're gonna reschedule. Unfortunately, where is he at? There. So it would be like that instead. Yeah, I was planning on doing one on my side, but I didn't have. It was flipped on the other side. So looks like we're gonna reschedule, and unfortunately, that means that I do not have a podcast for today. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to end this and then start back up another one of me playing probably some Fall Guys or some League or something. I don't know. Trying to be entertaining for the next however long. So that's that. I'll be back in shortly. Well, I guess I can stay here until I change it. Yeah. No, I'll be right back shortly. Shortly. Round awkward.